the Cahootscast, the podcast where four of us get together and get off topic about arts and culture. I'm Dylan Trahan.
I'm Bob.
I'm Sarah Chisholm.
I'm Patrick. So Sarah is a new face. Sarah, why don't you tell the people at home what you do?
Well, I consider myself an artist, although that might be a subject for debate.
That's such an artist thing to say. I consider myself an artist.
I'm an artist that uses a camera, so I'm partly a photographer, but I'm also a digital artist and a graphic designer, I would say. So, yeah, I'm a multimedia artist.
Is some of your art here right now? There was one.
It is. It's way over there in the hallway, though. So,
okay, I'll just edit it in.
Yeah.
Magic here, editing.
Which is partly what I do. I also, work magic and editing. So yeah, there we go.
Nice. Yeah, I couldn't edit pictures to save my life, but video, it's easy because it just moves on its own.
I spend a lot of time editing. I try to have my own style, so a lot of it is learned by doing those. So I just kind of stumble through, and if that works, awesome. If quite often it doesn't, and there's a back button in most of the programs, which is awesome because as a visual artist, I erase a lot. So yeah, the back button is good.
So you are our first actual visual artist on this arts podcast. I guess we all work you work in a visual medium, but it's not the same.
I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself an artist in that format.
The web is your canvas.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, since it's kind of been a slow news week, and this is the part that's going to go up on Facebook, we all are artists in a small town. And specifically in our small town, I think we all sit around and talk about what we'd like to see happen in our arts community. But I'd like to put that on record.
Yeah.
So what if you could pick one thing that you'd like to see happening in this town that you think is lacking right now? What would you like to see change, like a gallery or a trade show or a maker space or whatever you'd like to see happening? Like, is there anything that Bob, I know you're kind of on the other end of the spectrum, so let's start with you. What would...
I mean, as somebody, I work for myself, basically, I work from home. It'd be... In a lot of cities, they have those collaborative workspaces where there's Wi-Fi and there's, desks and all these things set up where you can kind of go in and work with other people that work by themselves.
First podcast I ever recorded was one of the guys had a membership to a hackerspace and we just recorded that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be super cool. Even just a place with decent Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Would be nice. What about you, Patrick? I mean, you already have this place, so you have to come up with something different.
Yeah. So,
although this is amazing.
Or even just a vision for...
I think Kincardin's really hitting the mark with the music festivals and stuff. People come all over the place. The Blues Fest is has been rated one of the best, in Canada, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So, I think we're really hitting the mark there. When you're talking about maker spaces, that's sort of been my sort of vision too, is some sort of learning space, just hands-on learning space. So I'd like to even branch out of doing just music and visual arts, even through PIC, or whether that's a different brand, I don't know yet. But that's an idea that I've been really excited about, that I think really has a lot of potential, specifically in this community. So
definitely, a challenge that I face as an artist in a small town is space to have a gallery. I do certain shows, and they're small, and it's quite a lot to pack up all your stuff and bring it somewhere and unpack it and then pack it up at the end of the day. So having a permanent space is something that's very important to an artist. And I mean, in Ontario, as we know, hydro rates are soaring and rent is very high in a downtown space. So it's quite a challenge for an artist to find that, other than online, a physical space to display and to work and to engage with the community.
Yeah, constantly. And I think people are sort of missing out on that, as they're spending more and more time with their faces and screens and phones and stuff, is I think people are sort of missing that sense of community. So that would be a great way of just bringing people together to create shit, right?
Definitely.
Well, and maybe this is me coming from the city for so long. I moved away from town, lived in Toronto for 6 years, and then came back. And everyone is so much more plugged into what's happening in their sphere online, as opposed to just in person. And as much as people think like, oh, people in the city, they just sort of they live in their own little bubble and they don't go out. Like people are way more plugged into their individual artistic communities in the city, I find, than they are here. But it's only really because you know what's going on all the time. Like it's people around here just don't feel the need, I think, to be maybe plugged into the online community. Like if I posted that I had, for example, I spent so long making a vintage looking PSA. And I realized that like most of the people I know that live in this town aren't seeing it, but tons of my friends from Toronto are seeing it.
Right, yeah.
I noticed that too. Even just the idea of what we're doing here with Cahoots, people are kind of dubious about it when they say like, so what are you doing? Like, okay, we'll see, So that, which is kind of motivating for me. It's like, whoa, that gives me like, we'll show you why this is valuable and why this is cool,
now.
right? So yeah. So
I think a lot of people maybe don't want to think that arts and culture community needs to be online. I don't think they see the value of it. It's more like a networking device rather than like, I want to put all, like, art only exists online now. It's like, no, I still want to have, like, artful hands.
Absolutely,
Totally. That
was
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
And online too, it's so easy to just, it's instant gratification. It's, it's so instantly available online, whereas a physical piece right in front of you, first of all, looks different than it is online. Like I recently went to a show, Mystical Landscapes in Toronto, where I took in some of the Van Goghs and the Monets in person, and like, I thought I was in love with the prints that I'd seen on them online, and like they suck compared to the real works. Like just the colors and the saturation and the feeling. So holding a physical piece in your hand is so much different than just seeing it online.
kind of, it's more of like a tactile experience, right?
Absolutely.
That's why I like books more than I like reading on a Kobo or on my, yeah.
Well, it's sort of exactly why the internet is such a powerful medium, is because it sort of encourages people to go out and see these things. Like
it puts people's foot in the door. So
Yes.
there might be some people that might be like, oh, I don't know, I'm hesitant to go into this event where there might be a lot of people I don't know. But if they see a quick video and they're like, that looks really cool, that's their foot in the door, then they're more apt to maybe physically go to that event, right?
Well,
Definitely.
and I think it's sort of false thinking to think like that when people do say like, oh, you're cheapening the actual art by sharing it online, because I don't think anyone would watch our video that we made in 2 hours or 3 hours of you going to Artful Hands and interviewing some of the artists and go like, well, I don't need to go now. I can
I got the gist.
That's my art dose for this evening.
Yeah.
But if they do, they're probably not consumers of art in the first place.
Yeah.
Right.
They're consumers of online media, and like that's a valid point as well. Some people might just want to live their entire artistic consumption life online, but I mean, the people who do that aren't going to be the people who go out. It wouldn't be the same type of person who goes out to an art gallery.
Exactly. Yeah, like the people that love the sunset pictures because it's a pretty picture. It's pretty, but they're not necessarily the same art lovers as some of the things that you maybe spent more investment of your heart and soul on the piece.
Exactly. Not everyone wants. We talked about challenging art, but it's even more than just art being challenging. Some people don't want their art to be anything more than just something they take a glance at as they walk by it in the morning when they get out of bed.
Right.
Like they just want it to be
Or just
something
fill
that,
up empty wall space kind of deal,
it's
right?
like putting flowers
yes,
on the mantle.
Exactly.
And for that, and that's a valid, like, who are we to say how people consume art? Yeah. But I think, anyways, locally, I think people really do want to get engaged.
Yeah.
I think some people, like, I wouldn't consider myself a connoisseur of fine art or anything like that, but if, like you were saying, broadcasting on the internet, especially in such a small town, if something comes through and I see it, it may spark something and go, well, whoa, that's in town. Like, I can see that. I didn't know I could see that in town.
Yeah.
It's really cool that these niche communities and these people that is in such a small town may only have so many people that are directly interested in what you're doing, but when you can post something online and people can see who shared it or who's seen it, you may get that, oh wow, that is really cool, how do I check that out? And you can follow right back and see where it came from.
Absolutely. I find online is, I would call it an essential tool to being an artist nowadays, and engaging people, getting your work out there to be seen. So, I mean, putting it out there and then having the people come back to you, but you've got to send it out there, and it is a challenge, putting yourself out there and putting yourself on the line like that, both in terms of trolling and theft of your artwork and whatnot. But again, you've just got to put it out there because you've got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I think, like, if you look at what's happened in the past couple weeks in Kincardine, we had the community singers, big choir event, and that's the type of thing that can only be consumed there.
Yeah.
The day of, and that's like a big part of our community's art life is going out and consuming these performances and these one-off things, and I don't think anyone would ever say like we should just, instead of doing that, we should just make that a Facebook live stream and put it on the internet. But by the same token, why wouldn't you? And they are actually on social media, so good job, Pat.
But then you can reach.
Pat Lowry.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I didn't know I did that.
Oh no, there's two Pats. It's Patception.
Yeah.
I think, anyways, yeah, that's enough of that. But I think so much about it. We talk so much behind closed doors about like, oh, this is what this community needs in art, and I just wanted to do that.